Sled Trails is sponsored by Shell Canada Products, Smith Optics, and HMK Snowmobiling. Welcome to Sled Trails. My name is Brad Ewan, and here we are in Red Deer, Alberta, established in 1956, Turpo Brothers Skidoo dealership. But before we go inside, we're going to go for a roost with the boys on In on the Border in Alberta and the local snowmobile club.
Hi, I'm Darren Tracy from the Inn on the Border. We're here in BC right now. Our lodge is situated on Highway 3 on the BC-Alberta border.
Wash away this disease. If I could peel my skin, it would make me feel clean. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I will wait here patiently for the axe to fall. Whoa!
My wife wanted to open up a restaurant because she felt there was no good place to have a Christmas party. So her and me and her parents, we bought the old hotel that we're at now, and we gutted it out and started renovating, brought it all up to code. And then we started to cater to snowmobilers, and then we found that a lot of people were always breaking down in the early 90s. So we bought a couple of snowmobiles for spares, and it just snowballed from there.
Tears will fill up your eyes. If I could wash away.
Well, the border does run through the building. That's why we called it the Inn on the Border. We can snowmobile right from the door. We have snowmobile rentals, and the restaurant has won the first place in the Snow Riders magazine for the best restaurant, second place for best resort, and the snowmobile rentals have won second and third place over the last few years. We get lots of husbands and wives that come out, and the wives don't do too much hill climbing, but they could certainly access the big powder bowls with their husbands. Riding the trails is just as much fun because there's 2 or 3 feet of powder on the trails. There's lots of open meadows, and if it snows 3 or 4 feet, you don't have to go climbing because you're likely not going to be able to climb that high anyway, and you'll have just as much fun bombing down a road or riding on trails as you would climbing anyways. Well, my wife doesn't do too much snowmobiling anymore. She's pretty busy preparing meals at the inn for our guests. Crystal started riding on a little kitty cat probably when she was about 3. She comes out on tours with me now. She usually rides a 7 or an 800 or one of the RX ones. Well, some of the female riders have actually said to us that they hope a 13-year-old doesn't outride them. And it has happened, where she does outride them.
I can't really remember it that well, but when I was before I even got my kitty cat, my Nana and Papa, or my mom or dad, they'd always take me out with them, like racing down the road. I would ride the mountain maxes most of the time. Like whenever we stopped in a basin, my dad would just say, "Okay, go take it out." So I'd just go around. And I think I was about 8 years old, and we were in the Atlas Basin. And my dad said, "Okay, go take the mountain max out." So there's this one kid I was really jealous because he had his own phaser and everything. I'm like, "Oh, I want one of them." So he was high marking, just going up or whatever. So I would challenge him, and I'd go higher, and then he'd go higher, and then I'd go higher, and then I forgot to lean, and my sled just kind of tipped, and I was stuck there for a while. Just go out with the guys and like watch them and say like, "Oh, I want to do that," and then just go out and go slow and try at it until you can get it really good, and then you can go and show off to other guys. Guys can't hog the sport. It's a girl sport too.
pro snow riders for this area, and other areas have their own clubs. Like Fernie will have their club. So if you ride Fernie, buy a trail pass in Fernie, and that helps their club to deal with cleaning trails, keeping them maintained, and the same thing with the pro snow riders. And sometimes, well, pretty much once a year they have a poker run rally to help fundraise, and if you attend those, that makes a big difference.
To guide my life, just let it rain.
There's usually fresh powder every weekend, and the riding area is huge around here. It could be raining in Fernie, clear here on the border, and snowing in the Crow's Nest Pass. 1,200 kilometers of trails just north and south of the Crow's Nest Pass. And then coming out of the Inn on the Border, you can ride into BC, access Fernie, you can ride into that town. Big snow, I would say probably 20 to 25 feet of snow every year. There's a lot of sunny days, and we don't get too much of the 30 below weather. We're a lot around -5, -10.
Welcome back to Sled Trails. Let's check in with the Canadian Avalanche Association and Red Deer's own Stephanie Schwartz, the backcountry freerider.
Hi, I'm John Kelly with the Canadian Avalanche Centre in Revelstoke. I'm a public avalanche forecaster, and I just wanted to talk to you today about some backcountry avalanche conditions and how we rate them. In Canada, we have a 3-level system to give you some basic ideas about avalanche conditions in 10 areas of Canada, in 10 areas of Alberta and BC. These ratings go out for the different regions. We've got the first level of avalanche conditions is good, and that means with a normal level of equipment and a little bit of training and knowledge, you should be able to have a safe trip, and the backcountry avalanches aren't going to be very frequent. We get into the second level is serious. Avalanches are occurring more frequently. It takes a little bit of more skill and a little bit more knowledge and training to be able to go out safely in the backcountry. And of course our third level is poor, where usually travel in avalanche terrain is not recommended unless you have an extremely high level of skill and knowledge in terms of dealing with avalanches. We have a fourth category for variable conditions, and that's usually reserved for the springtime when melt and freeze cycles can mean that within the same day you can have avalanche conditions that vary from good to poor. This is just an introductory information, and what we're trying to do is get people to have a look at these, determine what the avalanche conditions are in their local area, and then go on to some more in-depth information. And that would be some information that would look more like this: danger scale plus avalanche forecasts. And these are products that will give you more in-depth knowledge about what particular avalanche conditions are like on particular kinds of slopes in particular kinds of elevation bands. If you're going into the backcountry snowmobiling, a good place to get your information is at our website avalanche.ca, and you can get your backcountry avalanche advisory as well as a lot more in-depth information.
My name is Stephanie Schwartz. I am a freerider from Red Deer, Alberta. I started sledding about 5 years old. We rode every weekend. It was just what you do there, and having an older brother and father that were in the industry as well, I just tagged along and eventually was accepted as one of the boys and got to ride every weekend as much as possible. I mean, my level of ability and skill was brought up definitely a couple notches, having to keep up, and they waited, but they definitely pushed me, which makes you a better rider. The nice thing about being in Red Deer, Alberta, is that there's lots of riding around the area. I mean, we can drive an hour west and we're in mountains, or we can go east and we're running the rivers. Lots of riding in Alberta. Go north, big hills, south, big hills also. It's a good central location to be, definitely. A great Sunday ride or a Saturday ride on those weekends that you just don't feel like driving 6 hours. So it's nice to know that it's right close. My dad got a phone call about the magazine probably before I did. And he, of course, being the proud dad that he is, I think he told everybody in the whole town what was going on. But he was present during the photo shoot, and he took some of the photos, and so both of us kind of got a little piece of the action and a lot of good mementos. It was a good father-daughter day. The day was not a good day for filming, but we needed the shot, and it was a great shot. It was on Boulder Mountain in Revelstoke, and the snow was good where we were, and it just happened to work out. It was a good shot. I actually received a couple emails asking if I was the girl on the cover of the magazine, and they had got my email address from somebody. But I was sitting at a hockey game, and a fellow came up to me and he said, "This isn't a pickup line, but I have to know if you're the girl on the cover of the Snow Riders West." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay." It was great. So some people have noticed, and I've had some people come up to me with the magazine and ask if it was me, and a lot of females actually have come up to me, so that was nice. Ended up getting the cover shot, which was a first for a female, and it was kind of nice. Turtle Brothers have really stepped up to the plate and helped me a lot, getting me this sled and working with BRP and really standing behind me and pushing me as a free rider and not just a racer by sponsoring me with the sled. Kirk from HMK called me up one day and asked if I was the girl that was traveling with certain companies, and I said yes. And then next week I had boots and things sent in the mail, and again AMSOIL with their oil, and SCS Racing. I've been with them for a long time. My dad is the big snowmobiler mecca of the city, and without him I would not be riding. Definitely he had the patience to put up with me, and just a great dad. He's a proud dad. The older we got, my mom stopped sledding, and she's nervous. She doesn't like to see photos of what's happened during the day, and she doesn't want to hear stories, but she's the first one there to answer the phone after we phone and say we're coming home, and she's got dinner ready. She's a great mom. I say if you want to get into this industry and just up your level of riding and ride big mountain and lots of powder and things like that, just go as much as you can. Like, don't let anybody tell you you can't go because you're a girl. That I've come across that I don't know how many times, and I just kept my mouth shut and rode, and at the end of the day they seen your riding ability. So I just say just go for it. Don't be scared. There's gonna be times when you are scared and times when you're nervous, but it's all worth it in the end. Like, you just keep pushing it. It's what you want to do, not what somebody else tells you you should do because you're a girl.
Hi, I'm John Kelly with the Canadian Avalanche Centre. You're watching Sled Trails.
Stephanie Schwartz, what a ripper. Let's meet the legend Glenn Turple. He's going to go through a little tech tip with us with suspension tuning for both the mountain and the trail.
We started out buying motorcycles in 1946 when I finished high school, working with them and playing with them and riding them and so on. In 1949 we started selling motorcycles as a hobby part-time off the farm just outside of Olds. My brother and I started the business together. He lost out to cancer in 1990. The business grew gradually over those years until the fall of 1956 we moved into Red Deer. Started out selling machines and servicing them from an old house, which we expanded from, built a shop behind, and then 7 years later built a new front building. We expanded downtown 17 times, wound up with 26,000 square feet. So we opened up in this new facility in May 1st of the year 2000. Now even it seems getting tight for space, even though we have 46,000 square feet. And we're just going to mention a few things on suspension. These are the hydraulic or gas shocks that various snowmobiles use with the independent suspension. There's an adjustment here to preload the spring, which varies the amount of pressure that the skis put down on the snow according to the different types of riding that is being done. Then we go to the middle area, and there's a hydraulic shock in here with a preload spring, and how much pressure you put on the spring to the track varies the track angle according to the type of riding that you're doing. Then you go to the rear of the sled, There's two large springs here with a 4-position preload spring adjuster according to the weight of the rider and how far he wants to put the track down, and to vary between the softer or stiff suspension according to the riding that he's doing. Always consider that the higher the speed, the higher the risk when you're riding, so ride well within your safe limits.
Welcome back to Sled Trails. My bro Corey Tomash from Drift Jumper Media sent in some sick video footage. Let's check it out. And followed by the Extreme DVD of the Week, Liquid Adrenaline.
Is this the American dream? It's not all that it seems. Was it nothing more than this superficial world where everything has its price? Money alone would suffice. 'Cause everybody wants a piece of the pie.
To go here, they should be starting to arrive at the finish line here in just a moment. Well, they are 4 miles out right now, and they're traveling a lot better than 60 miles an hour, so that would mean in 2 or 3 minutes we should see them here. You can almost see him popping up here any second as Brian Deardahl is 1 mile from the finish line here in the I-500. Often asks, is this the American dream? It's not all that it seems. Is it nothing more than this superficial world where everything has its price? Money alone would suffice. 'Cause everybody wants a piece of the pie.
crazy or really alive. Anyone falls when we ever survive. Sometimes wonder if we'll get out. Going crazy or really alive. Anyone falls when we ever survive. Sometimes wonder if we'll get out. Going crazy or really alive. Anyone falls when we ever survive. Sometimes wonder if we'll get out. Dead or alive. There's a man overboard, turn around and pick him up. He was thrown overboard, jury, stick him up. I don't care, leave him there. I don't care, leave him there. He was a good man, so you say. He was a good man every day. He was a good man, most would say. For this good man we will pray. I grabbed the wheel of the tiny ship. The captain swung at me and started to flip. I don't care, leave him there. I don't care, leave him there. I've had all that I can take. The captain's words are a mistake. I'm against hurting each other. In this world we should love one another. I'm sick of the selfish things people do. Stuck under their own little world while you maybe wait till they drown and die. But not I, gonna take a stand and do what I can to save a man. I'm taking control of the vessel. I gotta do my part, I'll leave him wrestle. I don't care, we won't leave him there. I don't care, we won't leave him there. Shit like this happens every single day. If you ignore it, it won't go away. You gotta do what you can. Take the time to save another man. To save a man.
What a great show. Thanks to the Turple Brothers here in Red Deer, Alberta. We'll see you next week. Sled Trails is sponsored by Shell Canada Products, Smith Optics, and HMK Snowmobiling.